Do you enjoy going to Moulin Rouge as much as we do? Better yet, do you like going to concerts and sporting events?
SeatGeek helps people easily purchase tickets to these kind of events and unites people like you and us through live entertainment.
And things just got easier for you. As proud partners of SeatGeek, you can use our exclusive promo code CANCAN10 and you'll get $10 off of any purchase that is $250 or over.
Hey Lily, you've been eyeing up that can seat for a while now.
You're so right, Jules. I think I'm gonna go purchase it right now and use our code for a discount. Do you want to join?
Hell yeah.
Again, that's CANCAN10 to get $10 off of any purchase that is $250 or over. Only valid for your first purchase. Hey guys, it's your girl Lily here, one half of CanCan Talks, and I am here to tell you about our Patreon page. You don't know what Patreon is? Well, it's a platform to interact more with you guys. We post a lot of content on Instagram, but it does limit what we can post. For example, video length. Patreon allows us to post full-length videos of our episodes, as well as other cool things as a way to get to know us. You can sign up for a free subscription, you heard me, free, and you can view the full-length video recordings for a portion of our episodes. You can also join us for just $2 a month, and you'll have access to every full-length video recording, including the episodes with our special guests. We'll also be posting other fun content such as polls, exclusive updates on our upcoming guests, and so much more. Who knows? Maybe we'll live stream and let you guys see how we record an episode. Honestly, as a visual learner myself, I would love to have access to the video recordings of some of my favorite podcasts. So if you're like me, don't wait to sign up. Check us out at www.patreon.com/CanCanTalksPod and sign up for your free or $2 a month membership now. Again, that's www.patreon.com/CanCanTalksPod, linked in our episode description. Welcome back to Can Talks. It's your girl Lily and your girl Jules. It's a very sleepy episode, but we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do another deep dive for Nini, but before we do that, Jules with announcements.
I have no announcements. So that is my announcement this week, is that I have no announcements. You're welcome.
Yay, we love having no announcements. I mean, obviously no cast changes, but at least we've got all the departures out of the way for now, so those are always hard. Anyways, we're doing a deep dive for Nini, or Nini Legs in the Air, and it's gonna be a fun time. I'm excited to get into the wonderful dancer that is Nini. So Jules, do you want to go over the backstory?
Yar, let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna read you how they describe her in the script of the Broadway show first. So Nini Legs in the Air, sharp, ambitious, and cunning, hard and gorgeous as a gemstone, but with stealth kindness, brilliant dancer. So that's her description in the show. In the movie, though, her personality is put as she is a bitter, sarcastic woman who is jealous of Satine's fame when Mm, okay. This is a spoiler from the movie if you haven't seen the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, what are you doing?
Yeah, go
When
see it.
Satine fell off the trapeze, she jokingly asked Mon Fromage if the Duke was going to get his money's worth for Satine's less than spectacular performance. During the rehearsal of Hindi Sad Diamonds, Nini let it slip to the Duke that Satine was secretly seeing Christian, hoping to ruin Satine's love life. She's the leader role of Moulin Rouge's most famous dancer, Can, and she is highly skilled in this dance. She also leads El Tango de la Roxanne. She may be one of the most recognizable of all the Moulin Rouge dancers with her bright red and yellow costume. She is considered to have the best legs out of all the dancers, waving them around, liking them to windmills. Her skirt is also decorated with red windmills, amplifying her windmill theme. Um, really fun fact of the day is her character, Nini Legs in the Air, is actually named after a real Moulin Rouge dancer.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's, but yeah,
That is
that's her background.
Nini. It's Nini's
She,
background.
it's really interesting because I think in the movie they make her out to be like a bitch basically. Like she's not very
Yeah.
nice. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like Satine. She, like she hate like kind of like she has this bitterness and doesn't like Satine. However, in the musical, I mean, yeah, she has a bit like it's more of a realness to her. Like, in
Yeah.
the scene after Shut Up and Raise, she's like, when she tells Satine like open your eyes and all this, it's more of a hey, like bring you back to reality. She's not really like mean to Satine in the Broadway show.
Yeah, I mean,
She's
like, there's
more
that
like
one scene, like, is it after rehearsal
one
scene
when she
one?
tells him like the Duke is
Yeah,
an idiot. Yeah. Versus scene
yeah,
one.
yeah. Like, she's not being mean to her necessarily. I mean, she's admitting that, like, I've been jealous of you since day one, but she's like, we're sisters, and sisters have to stay together, and the Duke's dangerous, and so she's kind of putting a realness to Satine, because Satine said it might be up in the clouds a little bit.
Yeah, it's more of a not mean, it's just more of like a trying to bring her back to reality and be honest with her and tell her how it really is. But yeah, in the movie, she's not very
Yeah,
nice.
she's not really, no. She isn't. But it's interesting because I feel like it works with both ways. I don't know if I could see the musical Nini as a bitch, but also I could. Um, I think it's interesting the difference, but
She's definitely very sassy. And we
she
see that
is,
in
yeah.
the Broadway show. She's very like the way she talks to Santiago
Who
and
doesn't
like
pig?
yeah, and stuff like that. And like during backstage romance, you see that as well, the way she acts towards him. So she is definitely like sassy and stuff like that, but I wouldn't classify her as like a mean girl.
Yeah, I think
Um,
you can also see kind of like the sassiness and like the way that she's perceived as sassy through all the other Lady M's, like when like before Firework, um like that scene with the Lady M's after Shut Up and Raise, it's like doesn't LaShawn was like, oh, so you don't have to leave after, like, she goes, oh, it could turn into this or a whorehouse, so you can tell the dynamic a little bit of like how they perceive Nini, um which could also play into like why she's so like grounded and why she's so real with everyone.
yeah. So going to like her upbringing and all that, like we talk about with everybody, we do a deep dive with. We don't know a lot about Nini. We don't know anything really about her upbringing. We don't know anything about how she became. I just broke my mic. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So we don't really know anything about her like backstory in general. We can only speculate. We're really good at speculation on this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
but
so
I
we
feel
can
like
only,
that's what we have to do.
and that's what you have to do. So I mean, personally, I think that she is probably um is from like Montmartre, Paris
Hmm.
kind of area. She's a dancer, so I don't think this is her first experience dancing at the Moulin Rouge. I don't think this is her first time doing something like this. This could be just like another, I don't know, like a bit like Baby Doll and like at the underground clubs, I think. She was
Yeah.
probably doing that too before she found Moulin Rouge. She was probably recruited by Ziegler,
Hmm.
um, and then made into the Lady M's. It's kind of like a girl group, like a girl band.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like
Um,
it's the show before the show.
yeah. So maybe I think, yeah, I don't think this is her first time dancing. I don't think she's like, yeah, I think she's definitely like a France native,
Yeah.
but she didn't have like, I don't think she had like an upbringing like the Duke did, all the nice stuff.
No,
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 no.
no. I mean, we all because like her nickname is Nini Legs in the Air, and especially with that movie description of like, she has like the nice legs and stuff. I mean, as a dancer, like we love good legs, and everything, but you can't help but think like that's what the patrons like to look at. So it's attractive. It's like people with good legs is attractive.
Well, yeah, and also it kind of makes you think like is like was she a little bit like Satine in a way that because the Moulin Rouge, like I said, it's a nightclub, it's a gentleman's club, it's like a let's be honest, it's kind
Yeah,
of like a
they're
they're
prostitutes.
kind of prostitutes. I mean, whether you admit it or not. Maybe Nini was also that's why she's known as like Nini legs in the air because like
Oh yeah.
she's also like I don't know how to say this in the nicest way possible, but like she was also delving into prostitution and I don't know that could be a theory and that's why she has that nickname.
Hmm.
Because yeah, dancers, good legs, that's what you want, but also it could be like a euphemism for
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so we kind of know, or we can predict, or not predict, but we can, what's the word I'm looking for? My brain is not picking it up, but we all know.
Manifest.
Manifest, no.
Um,
We kind of can,
Foreshadow.
can, yeah, foreshadow her backstory a little. Like we know a little bit about her backstory. We don't know about her backstory. What am I saying? I can't speak today. It's been a day. Anyway, hey, now that we've, I guess, dove into her, I guess,
That was
perceived
a great
backstory.
explanation, Lily. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
a really, really
Um,
great explanation.
moving on.
I just think like what do you think her relationship with Santi is? Like, do they have a backstory together?
Well, if you watch the opening, in the show,
Hmm.
Welcome to the Moulin Rouge, because in the movie, comparing it to the movie again, I'm going back to the movie. In the movie, there's not really a relationship. The only thing they really do together is El Tango de Roxanne.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that in a little bit about the way that that's done in the movie compared to Broadway. But like, that's really the only thing you see with them. Now, in
Yeah.
the Broadway show, in the opening number, when they come on, when they do the burning down the house bit, watch
Hmm.
out. You might
Yeah.
get- Um, if you watch, you see they have like that first connection and like he's gonna grab her and like, like kind of like
Hmm.
that. Like there's
Yeah.
like a moment between them,
Hmm.
and then we don't see them interact again until like well,
Shut up and
Diamonds.
race.
Shut up and raise. Shut up and raise.
Yeah.
So it seems to me that with the relationship with them in the Broadway show is Santiago. We know again we have to do a deep dive on Santiago, but Santiago seems like a little of a player in a way.
Hmm. I mean,
So
that's what
he's
Toulouse says. Like, I was the
yeah,
biggest gigolo.
gigolo, and if you know what that means, well, you're welcome. Um,
Look it up.
Look it up. And so he kind of like approaches Nini and like is trying to like impress her when he's like the hold me in your arms. Like he's like because you see he's drinking, he's like, hold on, I'm gonna go like,
Yeah.
impress this
Yeah.
girl,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go be like, yeah. And she's just not having any
And the
of it.
boys, the boys are all like, yeah,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
And then he does that and she's like, keep walking. And he's like laughing about it. And then we don't see them interact again until Act Two. Well, yeah, Act Two. And again, you can see like he wants her to come out, like, hey, come for a coffee. And she's like, are you gonna pay? And he's like, always.
I was.
And he's trying to get her to come out. And then, because again, you see that, and then you don't see them that much again. So it's definitely like a weird vibe. Again, we can like predict what we think happens. Do they stay together? I feel like their relationship's quite a funny one because like she's very sassy, but he's also
He's
kind of
also
like
kind of,
he's
yeah.
kind of sassy, so I
He's
feel
like
like
the
it's
male
just
equivalent of her a little bit.
kinda, yeah. I mean, he's
Yeah.
quite funny, but he's also quite like he's like, oh, like he has that kind of
He has the smoothness and
the
the,
smoothness,
yeah.
but he's also like he doesn't, you know, yeah.
He doesn't really care. Like he cares, but he doesn't, you know?
Yeah. So he's definitely got that kind of vibe to him. So maybe after everything they stay together. Do I think they get married and have kids? No.
No.
I think they have a bit of a weird relationship. Like I think they have like a it's bad to say. I don't want to say toxic because I don't think it's toxic, but I think it's definitely one of those kind of like on again, off again.
Yeah, for
And like
sure.
it's a weird like love hate. Not like a love hate, but kind of a love hate, but I don't think they settle down and like
Yeah.
get married and move to
Oh
like
yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah,
friggin'
they're
like
like
the south of France or
you would.
something.
Yeah, I mean, like it's definitely different from what Satine and Christian's relationship is. Like you can tell, like Satine and Christian and their relationship is so pure and everything, and then like Nini and Santi are so fiery, and you can see that in Roxanne, like because they are just very fiery and passionate. And I think honestly, like I'll talk. We'll probably talk about this like in the Santi deep dive as well, but I think like Nini kind of challenges Santi in a way because I think like Santi's the kind of guy who's very like um he's smooth and like if he's described as like a gigolo by Toulouse, it's like he gets all the women, you know, he gets all the women and Nini's the one who's just kind of like walk away and like she's very sassy, very like playing hard to get. And I think Santi likes that. I think he likes that challenge. And that's the reason why he keeps kind of going after her and chasing after her. And it's very fun to watch. Very entertaining.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So moving on to really, obviously they do bad romance, backstage romance. They sing that
And
beginning bit,
everybody's faces in the
and everyone's
background
like,
is like, what is going on between these two? Or
yeah,
please leave it to
yeah,
not the
like
rehearsal.
yeah, basically, because like Christian says, ours wasn't the only backstage romance, and then they're singing it, and there's people just walking in, and you can just,
Like,
I love again, and we talked about this last night on live, um, when you've seen the show so many times, you definitely get to look out for little things that maybe you don't see on the first time, and we've been really fortunate enough to see the show a lot of times, and I love that bit while they're doing the performance, looking around and looking at the ensemble because like the guys quite a few of the guys come from like up by the parasol area
mhm.
and you look and you can just see their faces like they kind of had that confusion or like the
They're like the
oh
it's the
god
confused or like,
the
man.
confusion or the oh goodness like oh Jesus like this is what we're gonna deal with so it's definitely quite funny to see but then the biggest thing it's El Tango de Roxanne so
Yeah.
famous, iconic. So it's so the way they did it on Broadway in the movie, I love both the versions. I think we've
Me
talked about how
too.
much we love
Yeah.
both of the versions. But we'll start with the movie. So in the movie, obviously, it's Santiago who gives the speech about the there's a dance in the brothels of Buenos Aires,
Hmm.
tells story of a prostitute, blah blah blah. And then they do the dance. And it's
Yeah.
the obviously it's a bit of a different dance to what they do on Broadway, but it's the tango dance. And at the same time, I'm about to say Aaron Tveit. He's not in the movie. Ewan McGregor, who plays Christian, he's, singing the his hand upon blah blah blah.
Hmm.
And also in the background is Satine going to see the Duke,
Yeah.
right?
So there's
To
like a
fix
lot of
everything.
different things happening at once. And that's
Yeah,
like what you can do with the movie.
with the movie.
Yeah.
But they kind of achieve that a little bit on Broadway. But this time,
During the
obviously,
never forget. And then you see like the Duke in the background.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that bit, so when it's like, um, so they start off, they do the dance, they have that great dance scene, and then when Christian goes, put on the red light,
Hmm.
doom doom, and then he's walking
Do
across the stage, and
do.
then the Duke comes in, and Satine's walking to him to
Yeah.
go see
He's
him.
like, takes
Yeah,
her
takes her
away.
away. So yeah, basically like that bit happens again, like the movie, and they do the dance, but then yeah. It doesn't really explain any more of their relationship. It's just more of like them just doing this dance and like talking
Yeah,
about
for
like,
sure.
but is he talking when Zidler does sorry, I'm a bit of a going off topic.
No, you're
When
good.
Zidler does the word to the wise, my dear, never fall in love with a woman who sells herself. It always ends badly. Is he
Yeah.
talking about Satine or is he talking about Nini?
Yeah.
It's a good question. Now he's probably talking about Satine because Satine we do know is like a courtesan. She's a prostitute. We know
Hmm.
that. But
And we
again,
also know that Roxanne is
a
technically in
story
Christian's
about
head.
fun fact of the day, if you didn't realize, putting on the red light, what that means
Yeah.
basically means that Roxanne's a prostitute. Okay,
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
If you didn't know that,
Hmm.
you're welcome. But so he's singing a song about he's singing to them, and so again, it's so open for interpretation. But that's just my spiel.
Yeah, I think Roxanne is definitely like it's in Christian's head, especially in the musical, you can tell because they go right from Chandelier to Roxanne. And obviously, Christian is very under the influence. And so of the absinthe, and he's envisioning Satine as the Green Fairy and everything. And then they go straight into Roxanne. And I think like that scene is very much in his head. um it's like Zietler telling him, and then like it's Santi and Nini feel very much like Santi's supposed to be Christian and Nini's supposed to be Satine, almost kind of like a dance, like it's a dance version of them in his head. And then like during the passerelle kind of walk, that you can tell that that's also kind of in his head because he's envisioning Satine walking towards the Duke and seeing, kind of visioning her going to the Duke because she he thinks she's gonna choose the Duke at this point because he wants to forget about her.
Well, and she is going to the Duke, as we
Yeah,
see in the scene before Chandelier. She needs to go,
be with the
um,
Duke.
be with the Duke. Really fun fact, with just throwing it back a little bit. Sorry, Lily. To
Good.
Boston, there was they cut out a line, but basically, Satine said something about how she was like, "Well, I'm gonna go see the Duke. I need to go calm him down." So we know she is going to see the Duke, but I think I've never seen it as a way as like is Christian Satine doing the Santi and Nini dance. So that's definitely I've never thought about that, Lily. So that's actually really cool. I've
Yeah,
never thought of it that way, but I always felt like Roxanne and that walk was him going to the Duke's apartment because that's what he's
yeah,
doing.
yeah.
He's left his house. Well, him and
Drunk.
him. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
drunk on absinthe, and he's like, I'm
drunkenly
gonna
is
go.
finding.
He's like, I'm gonna go because I'm envisioning Satine. Maybe this is them trying to tell me, like, this is my brain trying to tell me, following my heart and saying, I need to go get Satine. I know where
Hmm.
she's gonna be. I'm gonna go find her. She's at the Duke's place. I'm gonna walk my butt down there. And that's basically, I think, what Roxanne is as well. It's also that
Yeah,
transition of
because
him
right in
going to
there
his
it's the Duke's apartment, and then he stumbles in. So
stumbles through the doors and is met with a very awkward moment.
yeah,
Christian, what an unexpected pleasure.
pleasure. What?
An
May I get you
unexpected
something?
pleasure. Can I get you something? Oh yeah, it's a bit of a dicey moment that is.
Hmm.
It's a bit of a nail biter, but that's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I love that dance so much. So, yeah, that was like the one scene that I was like super excited to see be brought on stage because as a dancer, I'm like, yes, this has to happen. And it's just the intensity of it and Nini being thrown around and the trust that these actors have to put in the guys. Wow, because partnering is rough, guys, sometimes.
Partnering is rough. So I just looked at something about the movie real quick. So I'm just gonna read the little clip. Read the clip. What is wrong with me? Okay, so going back to Nini, in the movie, Nini is jealous of Satine. And she's at in Broadway show. She said that I've been jealous of you ever since the day we met. Whether that's because she's the headliner and maybe Nini wants to be, oh no, Nini does want to be the headliner. She says that, doesn't she? She
Mhm.
says like I would give anything to be the headliner here. So in the movie, Nini's like, you know what? I'm annoyed at Satine. She is getting this opportunity to be with the Duke who has a lot of money. He's going to give her this life and he's going to, again, we've talked about this multiple times about the whole love. Does she love him? And like
Yeah.
Andrew said, like she doesn't say she loves him. She just puts her clothes on. So the Duke is giving her this life and a way to escape the life she's living,
Hmm.
and she's throwing it away to be with the penniless writer.
Yeah.
So Nini, I think, hits a breaking point in the movie, and she's like, "Screw this girl," and she goes to the Duke, and she says, um, I can't exactly remember what she says, but she's like, she says about how like, oh, it's so weird that she chooses the penniless sitar or penniless writer. Oops, I mean penniless sitar player. Like she says something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
I can't. It's very. It's always a bit of again. Remember the first time watching a movie, I was like, oh my God, I can't
Oh,
believe she just did
oh
that. How
no.
horrible. But she basically tells the Duke that there's an affair going on, and so the Duke
Nini's being a bit of a Pierre.
Nini, maybe Nini and Pierre are like the same people,
Yeah.
you know? I'm just
Yeah.
saying, have we seen Nini and Pierre in the same room together? Yes, we have, but still. Okay, so basically I'm gonna read you this bit. She tells the Duke about that. The Duke demands the ending be changed with the courtesan choosing the Maharaja. Satine offers to spend the night with the Duke to keep the original ending. At the Duke's quarters, Satine sees Christian on the streets below and realizes she cannot sleep with the Duke. The Duke attempts I can't read this. Oh no, sorry. I just scrolled up. Okay, never mind. And that she cannot sleep with the Duke. And then it basically says that she reunited with Christian. He urges her to run away with him. The Duke tells Zidler that he will have Christian killed if Zidler is not his. Um, and then that's really it. So basically, the Duke is pissed at this point.
Yeah.
In the rehearsal scene when he so it's kind of like rehearsal scene two,
Yeah.
but a bit more. The Duke doesn't really shout as much in the movie as he does
No,
in the
no.
Broadway show. But yeah, so basically he finds out now, obviously, in the show, the Duke finds out because Christian is an
Blurts
idiot,
out. He blurts
blurts it out in a
because she
moment.
doesn't love you.
Yeah, he's in a fit of anger. He gets pissed off and he goes, because she doesn't love you. And you see that moment on his face, and that's why he goes, him. Because he just has that moment of and like either Andrew or James said it. Oh, I can't remember. This is so bad. But they basically said like it was hold on a second. You just said that and now you're trying to backtrack. What did that mean?
It could have
So
been
he
both. It could have been
I
both of them that said
think
it.
it was
I
Andrew.
feel like it was
Um
Andrew, but
I
it
think it was.
could have been both.
Um and like it was like a hold on a second, you've just blurted it out. And that's why everyone's a bit like kind of oop because you just blurted out
Yeah.
that you're having an affair with Satine, and I thought Satine was mine.
Hmm.
So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
So,
my kind of
but yeah,
take on it.
Nini's being a little Pierre in the movie, I guess. Like ratting that affair out.
Maybe
Sassy
that's
Queen.
where Pierre like what came from. Like maybe the musical people were like, well, we can't have them doing both, so let's make a new character named Pierre. Was Nini the original Pierre?
Do we
These are
love
questions.
Yeah. Do we love a sassy King Pierre though? Oh yeah, we love our sassy King Pierre for sure. And we will be doing a deep dive on Pierre because we stand our sassy king. Um, so what do you think the relationship is like with the other Lady M's or the girls in the club?
I think it's again like the Satine situation. They're sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are very close, and you see that. I mean, but you can see that this is the way they tease each other, but
Yeah.
they're also like there for each other. And I think they probably have all gone through a lot of stuff in the underground clubs and stuff like that that brings them together. And they
Mm-hmm.
are in this world, and what is it? Zidler says they're creatures of the underworld. Like they are together and they're sticking together. I
Mm-hmm.
think they have a good relationship. There's
Yeah.
nothing that shows otherwise because in the movie, LeChuck is a man in the movie, actually.
Yes.
It's one
Yep.
of the thing. There's no Arabia.
Mm-mm.
Baby doll, I don't know if there's a baby doll and no, I think there is, but it's not the same. But there's
Yeah.
no lady. The Lady M's is like a huge, they're just can dancers,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not like their
They're
own
just like a
individual
group.
characters
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it
The
is
Lady
in the
M's
show.
came from Lady Marmalade, the
Yep.
music video, basically. The four
Yeah.
baddest chicks
That's
from the Moulin
yeah.
Rouge. So,
that's where it came from. It didn't come from like in the movie they don't really have their own characters. However, in the musical, you do have the individual Arabia, LeChalk, Baby Doll, and Nini. But yeah, I think they are like a bit of a I think they are a family. Like
Yeah, I
they're
think
sisters, you
yeah,
know?
there's definitely a sisterhood there, and like I do think that they can take the piss out of each other a little bit because they've just done all this stuff together and went through this stuff together. You can see it in like right after like this could turn into a whorehouse, and then LeChuck goes, then you don't have to leave, and then they all kind of laugh, and and like you can see Nini's face, she's not exactly pissed at that comment. You know what I mean? Like she kind of has the face of defeat a little bit, like, okay, you got me kind of a thing. Like, all right, whatever. And she just like brushes it off because that is probably how they, joke around a little bit. So,
Oh yeah, we've all joked like that with our friends.
oh
So I
yeah,
think
we've
it's
all taken the piss out of
definitely,
each other.
yeah, I think they're all like there's a sisterhood there. I agree.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's the same with pretty much not just Lady M's, but like everybody in that ensemble. All the dancers there and the performers there, I think they all have a good family like going. And Zietler's kind of the person that they look up to, except for the
Hmm.
club is going broke. So he's
That's
got
true.
some stuff that, he's got to take care of.
Oh, Seedler,
Oh,
Seedler,
Zietler,
Seedler,
Zietler,
Seedler.
Zietler. So let's talk about like her little speech about the Duke. I know we kind of practiced it a little bit, but like let's go into that a
You
little
know what? You know what? I've said this once, I'm gonna say it again.
bit. It's hearsay.
It's
It's
hearsay.
hearsay.
Is okay.
Like, where did she get this
Where did
information
she get the
from?
information? I mean, yes, she's probably been at the Moulin Rouge for a little bit, but probably so has Satine. So,
Yeah.
how does Nini know this? Or is Nini just lying just to scare Satine? You know, some people do that just to scare, like,
Yeah.
parents do that. Is it a scare tactic? Or there's another theory is that did
Wait,
Nini
Nini
once
did.
catch the
Yeah.
Duke's eye?
Yeah.
But something happened. Obviously, nothing bad happened to her because she's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
But and maybe she's just like got like a vendetta against the Duke because maybe he got tired of her. I don't know. Again, maybe she was a mistress and he got tired of her because he met someone new.
And now
Um,
he has eyes in
and now,
Satine, and
yeah,
Nini kind of wants to be in Satine's position at the Moulin Rouge, just in general, like be the star of the show and be, the one with
and
all the eyes on her. And yeah,
like,
could be
well,
just
that's
saying it.
that, but also like, did Nini catch his eye? He got tired of her, and maybe she's like, wait a second, you're gonna move on to another girl.
That's what my dad thought.
And
My dad thought that maybe like Nini and the Duke had maybe something going on in the past that we
yeah,
just don't know about.
yeah, and maybe she is generally trying to warn her, but also is just like, I hate him, so screw him. I'm gonna tell you he's a horrible guy.
Yeah,
Now again, the Duke doesn't help his case.
he doesn't,
Doesn't help his
but
case, but
but
we all get a little angry sometimes.
yeah.
In the wise words of James Bryce, we all threaten to kill someone sometimes.
And then the silence
And
afterward.
crickets, just crickets. But yeah, I believe it's
It's
hearsay.
hearsay. Like you never actually saw any evidence of this. As a viewer, we've never seen any evidence of this. And she's the only one who's saying it too. It's not like any of the other Lady M's are saying it. It's not like Ziedler. Well, I don't know if Ziedler would say it because Ziedler wants the Duke to fund the club, but you don't hear anybody else saying this to her. You only hear Nini saying it. And maybe because Nini is just the realist out of all of them, that like she is the one that is like, I'm gonna tell her, but at the same time, you can't like she's not backing it up with anything. I don't know if the Duke would never reveal that himself, but
Also, did the Duke do it? Let's be honest. He probably, if he did do it,
yeah,
If
If he did do it. I don't think he would
innocent
actually do
until
it.
proven guilty, everybody. If he probably paid someone to do it, and if he did, he probably paid them very well. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
So it's all
It
hearsay.
is all hearsay.
Innocent until proven guilty, Your Honor. Um, but I think maybe there could have been something there, and she's a little bit jealous. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
Who knows? It's
Who knows?
open for interpretation.
Yeah.
There
It's
should be like a prequel to Moulin Rouge. We should
I
also write that.
we yeah, that we're writing Dookie's Revenge, which is the sequel, and
Hmm
we'll also be writing the prequel, which is called
It's gonna be called
um
Moulin Rouge
um
pre-Satine, pre-Christian.
wait, Christian.
It'll be like, it's gonna get me cancelled to say this, so I can't. But like the Bible, you got the New Testament, the Old Testament.
Yeah.
It'll be like the Old Testament. Or like the
The
old Moulin Rouge.
the old Moulin Rouge.
Um, I don't know.
The
Because
Moulin
Satine's probably
Rouge
been it.
before the Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, Satine's been there for a little bit. So I feel like she would have heard something about the Duke. I'm just saying. I
It could just
think.
be like also them like doing their own thing and like, doing like, being picked off of the streets and the underground clubs, Ziegler recruiting, and then right boom, Moulin Rouge, and then right after the sequel. There you go. It's like
Absolutely.
three continuous movies that you can watch in a day.
And we
There
can
you go.
find out that Christian was actually Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper,
Anyway,
yes.
my really bad theory. But yeah, I think it's open for interpretation. I think there's a lot of theories. But my theory is maybe something happened. Or maybe she's just being a genuine friend and she's maybe just trying to exaggerate just to protect her, because sometimes that's what people
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Just to protect people, and maybe I think she does love
Yeah, I
Satine
think
and
the intention is good. At least, I mean, if we're not going the route of like she's jealous and like she's just saying this because she's jealous, but I think, if she is like just being what was
you
that?
just froze. You just completely froze and lagged for a second. It just you went, and the attention, and I was like,
Oh, oh,
is she okay?
and then you like blink. I was like, what is going technology, guys? Anyways, but yeah, I think like, sometimes I think that maybe she is being genuine. And even if she could have heard it from someone. You know what I mean? It's like she couldn't have not like known the girl, but like she could have heard it from someone. It's all hearsay. So it's like she could have picked up the story from someone, that someone could have picked up the story from another someone, word travels and
Yeah, yeah, you know what? Gossip was gossiping even in
gossip.
1899.
Pierre being our
Pierre, that
gossip
damn
king.
Pierre. Um,
But yeah, I think like she could just be like being genuine because she heard the story and wants the team to at least be aware.
yeah, it is so open for so many things, but we just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's so much fun about it, is that we can speculate, and there's nothing wrong with speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else. What else? Yeah, I think that's really
Do we wait, hold on. Do we think that Nini took over like Satine's place after she died? If the show runs, like if the show still
okay.
is going on.
Well, Nini knew the part. And
Yes.
Ziedler says that during Crazy Rolling. I'll let Nini go on for you. She knows the part. Maybe. But then again, also, if the show still runs,
Yeah.
hopefully it does. I think it does because it's opening
I would
night that
hope it
happened. So I feel
does.
like it wouldn't close up. That would
And
really
Santi,
suck.
and Santi knows the part of Christian.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I don't think Christian
yeah,
would
I
come
don't think
back.
Christian would. Yeah, I think it's too painful for
You know
him.
who would make a great like in the Christian?
Please say Pierre.
Pierre, because
I was
Pierre
like,
was,
please say Pierre.
if Pierre was gonna play anyone, he would be playing Satine's role. He'd be playing
Oh, yes.
so we'd have like Francois would be Satine Santiago, and
Yeah.
then oh my God, what is her character's name in the show? Look at me. Um
Look at me. Oh. Shoot.
Don't love you, Francois. Lie to yourself and not to
Give it to
me.
me. Marie.
Oh, Marie. Marie.
I
Okay.
know.
Pierre would be a sassy Marie. He would be
Oh, yeah.
fantastic as Marie. Maybe like Pierre is the understudy to Nini afterwards.
I
Um,
support that. I support that 1000%.
maybe she becomes a sparkling. Who knows? Again, do they get someone new? Um, so maybe.
Because Nini's kind of, she's part of the Lady M's, so it's like,
And like I said, she knows the part.
she
So
knows the part, so it's
maybe it's
like,
a
does she move
win-win.
up? Yeah.
Yeah, you move up in the company.
The
Um,
pipeline.
she got a promotion. Congratulations, you've been promoted. Have you seen there's a video and it's like, congratulations, you've been
That
promoted.
will be in Moulin Rouge, the sequel.
The sequel, it will be Zeta being like, you've
You
been
got promoted.
promoted.
I could see Ziegler saying that.
Yeah, Zila just trying to bring
Wheeler being
happiness to
the,
the
yeah,
situation.
yeah,
But again, the show's gonna be different because the money's pulled out now, so it's like,
yeah.
y'all
Like,
gotta be making money.
did it make a good enough impression the first night?
Wow. It seemed
Homegirl
like it
died.
probably
So
did. Poor girl died. It'll be all in the newspapers.
yeah, yeah.
13 dies,
The teen
Moulin
dies
Rouge
at
still
Moulin
goes
Rouge.
on.
The
Um,
show must go on.
show must go on, and it shall because you've been promoted.
This is what we're in, guys.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know. I think maybe she
Yeah.
does. She does become
I think if the offer was there, yeah, she'd take it
oh, she would
because
take
that's
it.
what, she'd wanted all along. But I don't know. Does Ziegler want to? It depends on what Ziegler would want, I guess.
Well, yeah. Does Ziedler still want to do the show? It's probably kind of painful for Ziedler.
Yeah,
He's very close
yeah,
to Satine. But then again, like Satine tells Christian, tell our story, and maybe part of telling the story is keeping the show alive. The show
yeah.
that he made and she helped make. So and
And it
that's
kind of
how.
like it's cool because like at least Moulin Rouge in general is like it's very much the play within the play.
Oh,
They
yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody is basically Moulin Rouge, so you can kind of like it might be kind of like that Hamilton. Cannot Hamilton.
I said, excuse me, what did you just say?
I meant to say the fourth wall, and it just kind of anyway. It's kind of like the Hamilton fourth wall at the very end, where Eliza like gasps, and it's like it's that's up to interpretation as well. But it's like, does she see the audience and see that Hamilton wrote her story, and like told what she did and how she did it, at the end
Mm-hmm.
of his story, and it's kind of like almost the same thing. It's like is the show that we are telling, like what we're seeing in present time, like is that technically Christian, you know, continuing on with the teen story and the
Well,
love for
yeah.
the ages.
Well, you know what? Everyone's just gonna have to wait till Moulin Rouge 2 comes out,
Moulin Rouge
okay?
2, Dookie's Revenge.
Doogie's Revenge. You know what? I had a really terrible thought the other I'm gonna get cancelled for this. But there is a tweet on the internet and it's like Hamilton 2, but it's just Alexander Hamilton dead on the turntable. And I was like, yeah, Moulin Rouge 2, and it's just a teen dead on the chase line.
No, on the shoes. Which one though? The Duke's or her
No,
own?
her own. Really fun fact, real quick before we finish. So I'm on this Wikipedia page. Sorry, Wikipedia is not the best source. Sorry, guys.
No.
But it was talking about like when Baz Luhrmann was getting people for the movie in 2001.
Hmm. Yeah.
Well, production began in 1999. So these are the people who auditioned. Ready? You ready to hear this?
I'm so ready. I feel like I know so.
Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yes,
Heath
but he did.
Ledger,
I couldn't sing. That's
Jake
why.
Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay.
Yeah, before obviously Hugh McGregor one.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
yeah. So that's just. really fun with that.
The thing about I joke that like Baz Luhrmann really likes Leonardo DiCaprio because there's Romeo and Juliet and Great Gatsby. And he won. I knew the Leonardo DiCaprio one because I knew the reason why he didn't get it is because he could not sing. So there's your little
Well, there you go. And Ewan McGregor
another
can.
another little fun fact is that Caroline O'Connor played Nini in the movie, and
Yep.
Caroline O'Connor played Lily in Anastasia on Broadway with the one and only Derek Klena.
She was. And she also went to like opening night of Moulin Rouge in Melbourne in their last season.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like August last year when they opened up in Melbourne.
Yeah,
She was like there opening night and stuff like that. So she still supports the Moulin Rouge fam. But yeah, she's done some Broadway work as well. It's really
yeah,
cool.
with
But
Derek Klena.
with D-Rak Klena, and John Cardoza. No,
Yeah,
John Cardoza was not in Anastasia.
no, I was about to say
I'm thinking
what?
of Jagged Little Pill.
Oh,
But yeah, she did some Broadway work, and yeah. I mean, Nicole Kidman, Ewan McGregor, great people. But yeah, no, Baz Luhrmann does love Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, so do we.
really?
So
Yeah, yeah.
we're rooting for it. So maybe in another universe.
Great Gatsby. Hello.
Big
Yeah.
Gatsby was phenomenal,
Oh,
but yeah,
yeah. So in another life, Leonardo DiCaprio can sing, and he was Christian.
and he was
Word.
Christian. Well, Courtney Love. Do you know who Courtney Love is, Lily?
I feel like I've heard the name.
Okay, yeah, you probably have. So Courtney Love auditioned for the role of Satine. She didn't get it,
Mm-hmm.
obviously.
Yeah.
And she actually helped getting the rights to Smells Like Teen Spirit, which was used a little bit in the opening in the
Yeah.
movie, because obviously she was married to Kurt Cobain.
That's cool.
So
That's
there you go.
cool.
That is
Love.
um that is this week's episode about Nini and unnecessarily useless information Jules has in her head.
And Lily as well. But that's what this whole podcast is about. So
Most definitely.
it's just where we can dump our brains out
No,
to people who will listen and who are willing to listen. And thank you so much for listening. For those of you who are willing to listen, even if we are
we love you guys.
very,
We're just about to hit our six. We're hitting our 6 months.
which is crazy.
And I put a little video together, and I can't wait
Yeah.
to release it.
And
So
Jules was like, "Yeah, we're hitting our 6 months." I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, because we started in January."
we
Oh my
did. So
god.
time flies when you're having so much fun.
Yeah, honestly. And we love doing this, so I
Anyway,
think that's it. So
that's it.
it's
We're gonna
been
get you,
real.
Yaya out of here, and
It's
we'll
been
see you next
real.
week.
It's been fun. It's been real fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye. See you next week.